The new season Brutal Swarm is coming out on Tuesday, September 6th, so today I'll share everything you need to know to dominate in the next season Brutal Swarm. There is a new operator and there are lots of interesting changes coming up, such as changes to sights, attachments, operator changes, and a new map in Ranked. We'll start off with the new EMP Impact Grenade that will be added to a few operators as a third secondary gadget option. This will be a good replacement for Thatcher, so there's more options to destroy breach scenario utility if Thatcher gets banned. It'll be important for other reasons as well, but more on that later. This EMP Impact Grenade detonates on impact with the wall and has a smaller range than Thatcher's EMP. Precision is required. Each operator receives 2 of these, and the following operators were given the EMP Grenade as a third gadget: Blackbeard, Montaigne, Dokkaebi, Nock, Gridlog, Sledge, Lion, and Osa. There's some interesting changes regarding attachments. From now on, the decision between these attachments will be more meaningful, but there will also be more options for multiple guns. The compensator and muzzle brake options were added to some other weapons. More weapons now also have access to the extended barrel to opt for less damage drop-off. A flash hider does not make much sense for DMRs. The muzzle brake is the better option. Therefore, flash hiders will be removed from a few DMRs. The most exciting change is that suppressors no longer have the damage reduction. Previously, with a suppressor attached, you would inflict less damage on the opponents, making the suppressor a weak attachment. From now on, you'll do as much damage as without the suppressor attached. This makes it a very viable option for those sneak attacks or even the explosive pushes with an operator like Amaro. We saw Deepak do this a lot during the recent Berlin Major. There's also some changes to what guns have a vertical or angle grip. The vertical grip was added on weapons like the Glass Sniper, Nomad's ARX, C1 9mm for Frost, and the T5 for Legion and Oryx to better combat vertical recoil. Some other guns have also received an angled grip, and some guns received a laser sight as well. So now all weapons have the possibility to put a laser sight on them. And we just talked about added vertical grips to better combat recoil. This will be needed because the recoil will increase in the next season. However, console and PC recoil is treated and balanced differently from now on. On PC, all assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, and machine pistols will have increased overall recoil, so the attachments mentioned before will actually have a purpose. A few sight changes were done as well. A lot of operators got the 1.5 or 2.0, especially attackers. The most interesting scopes that got added or taken away are the following. Goyo's Vector will now have the 1.5. Ace's AK-12 loses the 2.0 but will get the 1.5. Yana's ARX will lose the 1.5. And Nomad's ARX will lose the 2.5, but it will get the 1.5. Sledge's ACOG on the L85 is now gone. And Cade will also lose the 1.5 on the AUG. This is a really sad change for me because I feel like Cade with that 1.5 was a really nice way to play that gun, especially with a lower fire rate as well on defense. Finka's LMG will lose the 2.5, but it will get the 2.0 back in return. Sophia's LMG will also lose the ACOG. And Mamai's MP5 will also lose the 1.5. For Yana on her G36C, you will now have the option to select the 1.5. And a change I'm really happy with is that the Frost C1 1.5 scope will also be coming back. And one more operator on defense gets a 1.5, it is Pulse on his UMP. A few changes were made to certain operators as well. Fuse will have decreased drilling time on the cluster charge. It's now only 2 seconds instead of 3. And Ubisoft also increased the pellets trail visibility, meaning you can see better where the pellets go to. Kali now has 4 lenses instead of 3. Ubisoft wants her to be a more viable option for breach denial clear. She now has the most utility, the clear utility of the breach, out of all the attackers. And the vertical and horizontal recoil on the CSRX sniper is reduced as well. And with Rook's armor, you can now revive yourself when you get downed. Dokkaebi's logic bomb will now also call dead defenders, and the logic bomb cannot be interrupted anymore for defenders. This will make the gadget way more consistent. Some operators also changed secondary gadgets. Glass now has a claymore added as a third gadget option. Capitao has the Gun 6, but Yana will lose her Gun 6. And for Finka, she will lose her frag grenades and she's gonna get smoke grenades. Ubisoft's thought process behind this is to make her more of a supportive player rather than an entry player. Maverick will lose his frag grenades, but he'll get stun grenades back for that in return. Buck will also get a gun 6, and Fuse will get smoke grenades added to the options. And it's not just rebalancing which operators have access to grenades, there's also a change made to the grenade itself. This will also be important regarding Breach Utility Clear. And there's a lot of nades from below right now in Pro League, and it's extremely strong. And this is why the damage range from a grenade is reduced to 3.6 meters. It was 5 meters. The grenade will do less damage over range as well, so that's quite a nerf to the grenades. And the Heartbreach gadget, however, received quite a buff. The gadget now only has a 4 seconds activation time instead of 5 seconds. And of course, there's the new operator as well. Grim is the newest attacker coming out in Brutal Swarm. His gadget is a bit of a combination between Jackal, Nomad, and Lion. It tracks down defenders when they step into the radius of the gadget. And more on this operator will probably come in another video, as I'll try to make a specific operator guide for him later. And do you remember playing on Stadium? Well, I hope you memorized the map a little bit, because next season it'll be in ranked and unranked. And starting very soon, there will be penalties for voice chat abuse. Ubisoft will start with a grace period, and then afterwards penalties will hit. This means you will automatically be muted to people for several games if you've abused the voice chat, but people can choose to unmute you if they want to. And quickly, some quality of life changes coming in the next season. You can now report cheaters in the match replay. This might make it easier to judge if someone is cheating or not, and sometimes people leave during the game, making it impossible to report them. If you spot the bomb as an attacker, the location of the bomb will also be shown on screen. And in the spawn selection screen, the picked bomb sites are also shown on the map, making it easier to understand what sites the defenders chose. The map ban system is also changed, something the community has been asking for. From now on, during every map ban phase, 5 maps will be shown. Both teams can ban a map or choose not to, and the map will be randomly selected from the maps that are left after the ban phase. This will lead to more maps being played, and you won't be stuck playing Oregon 10 times in a row in your ranked session. That was everything you need to know to be able to dominate in the new season Brutal Swarm. If you like this video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more educational content like this. Maybe you like my Goyo guide or these 15 easy siege tips. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.